After spending 6 days in El Salvador, in this video, I'll be sharing how much I spent. If you're new here and just joining the series, I would suggest going all the way back to episode 1 to get an idea of what's going on. In the previous episode, I took you to the supermarket in El Salvador. In this video, let's talk about the cost of the trip. Welcome back to my channel, guys. I hope that you are enjoying this entire series. We are in country number 6, which is El Salvador, and as promised, I said that I was going to go through all the costs and how much I spent and how to get there and all the things. So yeah, we're gonna discuss that right now. All right, guys, so before I get into this, I want to be clear that how I got to El Salvador, I was already in Central America, so for you it might be different. You're probably coming from Jamaica or wherever you are in the world. Your plane fare is going to be one of the biggest expenses for you. But because I was already in Central America, I did not have to foot that bill. So while I was in Guatemala, I found out that I could have taken a plane, which would have made things easier, but I found out that there was a bus, they called the Tica bus, that was able to bring me from where I was staying to the hostel that was super close to the Tica bus. Let me run it through. So I was staying in Antigua in Guatemala, which is not the capital city. So in order for me to get to the capital city, I would have to take a vehicle to the capital city because that's where the Tica bus was, and then from there to El Salvador. Now there are numerous ways to get to El Salvador, but because after doing my research, I found out some crazy information. I got information about crossing the border, how crossing the border in Central America is one of the most dangerous things you could ever do. Yeah. Now I'm running it back through my head. I was like, yo, so many things could have gone wrong, but luckily nothing happened. Okay, so I didn't want to make any mistake because I know it was a Spanish-speaking country and my Spanish was 100%, but I still wanted to navigate by crossing the border so that I could do it for myself and also assist you as well. That's when you're going across the border. So I decided to get guidance from a local by going to a local travel agency that was in Antigua. Now I thought the bus station was in Antigua, and I would have taken the bus there and then go over to El Salvador, but that wasn't the case. He told me about 2 different routes to get there, and he asked me where I wanted to go, if I wanted to go to the capital city or closer to the beach side, which is over to the Pacific. Is that Pacific? Pacific. And after doing some thought, and I checked where my hostel was actually in the city. So I had to coordinate to make sure that I landed pretty close there so I wouldn't be stranded in a country with no currency, because I really had to find a Cambia and all these things. So I don't want to make things too difficult. So I told him like, hey, I want to go to the capital city because my hostel is just across the road. He said, good. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I had to get up to catch the taxi that brought me to the capital city. I think it took probably like 45 minutes to an hour. I don't remember, but it felt like it was 45 minutes to an hour. And when I got there super early. I think I got there like 6 o'clock in the morning. It was dark, like dark as hell. And I think it was me and 2 other people that were there. And I will show you the footage so you can see what I'm talking about. And I had to wait until the driver gave me an envelope with, I'm assuming it was money. He gave me an envelope. I didn't open it. I should have though. I gave me an envelope to hand to the Tica bus people, representative, I handed them the envelope and they gave me a ticket in return. Turns out that, well, everything cost me to get to El Salvador, that cost me $25 US. Let me confirm. You know what, guys? I'm looking at how much it cost me to get to El Salvador, and I'm like, this could have been cheaper, because when I found out what the travel agency did, I realized I could have done it myself. But I paid for his experience, his knowledge, and like having access to his resources to navigate the process, because I didn't want to make any mistake. But if I wanted to do this myself, after I did the trip, I saw how I could have booked it myself without any assistance from a travel agency, which I did when I got to El Salvador, because I kind of figured out how things were working, and I'm like, I could do this myself. But because I didn't want to make any mistake, it was my first time crossing the border, I chose to work with a travel agency. And the total cost with the car plus the ticket bus, it cost me, when it converted, it cost me $85.71. This is for 6 days, not 5 days. I spent six days in El Salvador. When I took the bus and I went across the border, I found out that there was actually an entrance fee or a border fee. It wasn't much, but it was something I didn't plan for or didn't expect, because they wanted US dollars. It wasn't a conversion of the local currency. They wanted US dollars, and they told me $3 US. And the bus driver told me, you need to have that in cash, and don't make sure you have the exact change, because they might not give you the difference. And trust me, I experienced that when I went to South America. We'll get to that. But yeah, when you're crossing any border, make sure you have the exact amount that they're gonna cost. They're gonna charge you. But I didn't know that there was a border fee. And then I after digging some more, I found out that every country has one. You don't know it exists because they normally add it to the plane fare. But yeah, some countries, they have both the entry fee and the exit fee. You pay to come in the country and you pay to leave the country. I also found out Jamaica has one too. Very interesting. You got paid to use the airport. When you see the price for a ticket and you look on the breakdown of everything in those taxes and all that stuff, you're paying for multiple things. So yeah, found out I had to pay. It wasn't much. It was only $3, so I didn't sweat it. And I had like 200 cash emergency. This was for emergency, set aside from whatever I had before to handle all of that. Let's talk about the accommodation. Now, the accommodation in El Salvador, during this whole trip, I was taking mostly hostels. One, because it was cheap, that's one. And two, because if I had taken an Airbnb, I would have talked to maybe the host here, but not necessarily. I found out that when I would stay at a hostel, I would experience a lot of travelers, and I'm so happy I did that, because in that very hostel is when I found out about safety wing, and I'll talk a little bit more about safety wing. That became very helpful further down the line, and this is a insurance for when you're traveling, or we call travel insurance. That is helpful for if anything happens to you along your trip, you're able to use that at the hospital or wherever, and they refund you your money. So it came in very handy, and I'm happy I went to the hostel, specifically that one, because I was able to meet travelers who were coming from the opposite direction, who were able to give me a lot of advice, especially countries like Honduras. So we'll get into that. My accommodation was $135.50 for 6 days. And I'm telling you, it was such a great experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Would I do it again? Maybe. But I loved it. I really loved it. And it was a good experience. Food, let's talk about food. I didn't really do much, but I did go to the supermarket. Favorite thing to do, went to the supermarket. I did Uber Eats and ate on street food. I ate when I went to the attraction. I went to the market and eat food. You saw all of that, and the cost for all of that was $89.73. Now, in terms of attraction, the only thing I paid for at the attraction was their rainbow slide, and that was only $5. So that's it. Miscellaneous, and I'm talking miscellaneous, came up to like laundry. I think I found laundry there. Did I? I don't remember. Yeah, my miscellaneous, most of my miscellaneous costs came from the Nike sneakers I had to buy, mainly because my sneakers fell apart. Yeah, it just died a slow and painful death. By the time I got to El Salvador, there was no return. I think it died because of Guatemala. When I did the hike in Guatemala, it didn't recover from there. So I had to do a burial. Yeah, it died a slow and painful death. Okay, so yeah, my replacement for that, let me tell you the cost for my Nike thingy. My shoes was $122.15. Yeah, and to this day I still have the sneakers, even like almost 5 years ago. It was worth it. Okay, so in total my miscellaneous was $124.65. So my entire total for El Salvador, we're talking about food, transportation, accommodation, attractions, miscellaneous, all the things to get from one country to the next, everything came up to $440.59. So yeah, there you have it. That's how much I spent in the entire country for 6 days. I chose to do only the rainbow slide, mainly because to do the other things were so far away. I wanted to do the ruins. They had some ruins there. They had the surf side, which is like closer to the Pacific, and they had Roatan, I think is what it's called, where they have a few islands on the Caribbean side. The problem was I had to find my transportation to get to those areas, and also in the north they had like a maze I really wanted to do, but I didn't have the time for it because it was so far away. I think it was like 3 hours to get to the place, and then I thought about like how long I was going to stay there, and then 3 hours back. It was just too much. It was too much work to get there and to come back, and I just didn't have the time enough to do that. And on top of that, the bus to go to the following country, it didn't travel frequently, so I had to also align my trip to that bus as well. So I really didn't have much time to do all the things I wanted to do there. So that's one of the countries I would definitely go back to. But for now, I'm telling you, I did 6 days in the capital city, and it cost me $440.59. So there you have it, guys. That's how much I spent. I'm not gonna keep this too long, but stay tuned for how to get there in the next episode that's coming, and I'm gonna show you detailed instructions on how to get there from wherever you are in the world. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.